Welcome to the My Creative Days podcast, where we will talk about all things DIY, home decor, decorating tips, and creating a beautiful home on a budget. I am hoping our time together will spark a creative idea, help you plan your next DIY, or inspire you to finally tackle that project you keep putting off. Grab your favorite cup of motivation and let's chat. Hello, and welcome back to the podcast. Today, I am going to tackle a topic or a question that came in for DIY or decorating when you are renting. So I share tons of, DIY projects, and some of them are for, homeowners that can do whatever they want. And, but we have also had investment properties. We have had rentals. We had a duplex. We have flipped many homes. So I'm going to share 10 ways that some temporary decorating ideas or decor ideas if you are renting and you can't really, make permanent changes to the place that you're renting. So first and foremost, talk to your landlord and see what you can and cannot do. So are they cool if you wanted to, paint a wall? When we bought our duplex, the upstairs was empty and it needed all, we made it over before we rented it out. But the downstairs apartment somebody was living there and had been living there for years. And so he wanted to stay when we got it. So we didn't do any changes to that. But if he had said, hey, I'll come in and paint all the walls, can I do that? We definitely would have worked something out with him. So every landlord's going to be different. If you've got a landlord that's got a couple of properties, or if you're renting from like a massive, rental company, it's going to look different. So definitely kind of know what you're getting into when you're choosing a place to rent, and know what you can and can't do. So number one, start there. If you're somebody like me that likes to decorate and change things up all the time, maybe you want to find a landlord or, an owner that is open to you making some changes within reason. Like if he would have said, I'm going to paint the walls bright pink, can I do that? We definitely would have said no, just because then we would have to go in and change it. But if it's, within reason and it was, going to be neutral and it could go with multiple people coming in there whenever he left, then definitely we would have worked with them for that. So I do have some experience with the rental side of things. So I wanted to start off there. I wanted to say first, make sure you talk to your landlord, or it could be in the lease agreement that you have. They have it already in there. You can't make any changes. You can't paint anything, blah, blah, blah. So just make sure before you're going into it, you know what you can and can't do. But I'm just going to go through 10 ideas that can give you a temporary, change that's not going to be, like painting the walls or painting the cabinets that you may not be able to do. So number one, peel and stick wallpaper and decals. Wallpaper for sure. Decals, I don't know if you're wanting to, put decals on your walls, but that is one way. Peel and stick wallpaper has come a long way, and it's an easy way to add color, pattern, without doing any damage to the wall. You definitely, want to choose one that's going to be easy to remove, obviously, but it's just come such a long way. And there are so many beautiful options out there. Since you're not gluing it on like traditional wallpaper, that could be an easy thing for you to try. And, depending on your relationship with the landlord, like I said, if it's a landlord that you see all the time, or maybe you can get a relationship and say, hey, I'm going to bring you some ideas, and bring the peel and stick wallpaper to them, or bring the other ideas that I'm going to share to them, and see what they're open to. Like I said, if you're renting from like a big company that's got tons of rentals or tons of apartment buildings, it might look a little different. But if you bring these things to the landlord, they might be okay with it. Okay, next, removable hooks and shelves. So this is adding function without drilling. So, think command hooks. Gorilla Glue they sent me a box of some of their items to try out. They've got some things that I didn't even know were available. I'll leave a link to those, I'll leave a link to my video to show you the different things that I discovered that I had no idea. And we've been using Gorilla Glue for a long, long time, but they have other products that you may not be thinking about. So I'll leave a link to my YouTube video. Let me make myself a note here in the show notes so that you can check that out. I go through all the things that they have, but obviously removable hooks, that's going to add storage, display options, and you're not going to do not any damage to the walls. So the next thing, temporary flooring. So think rugs, mats, peel and stick tiles. Now this one I put on there just because, again, these have come a long way, but we have also been in some of the flip houses we've done where it was like peel and stick tiles, but they stuck to the floor and really did some damage underneath. So you definitely just want to make sure you're getting, peel and stick tiles that can easily be picked up if you were to move out. Area mats, area rugs, I mean, they can cover a lot. So if you're renting from a place and you just can't stand the whatever it is, kitchen floor, or maybe there's a low pile carpet in the living room that you just can't stand, throw a rug over it. By the time you get furniture, around the edges, like, chairs and a sofa and maybe an entertainment center or whatever, a lot of it's going to be covered up. So, get your furniture in there first and then kind of measure for a rug to see how much more you want to cover up or make less noticeable. Same thing in the kitchen. Maybe you've got an eat-in kitchen and, get your table and chairs in there and, anything else. If you've got a little coffee cart or something that's going in the kitchen, get your stuff in there first and then see what kind of floor coverage you still need or that you still want to hide, if that makes sense. And then go from there for your measurements and things. Don't get the rugs or the mats first. Get your stuff in there, see how it's going to be. And then you may decide, you know what, I do want the rug to go under the dining room table. So I do need to include that measurement, but get your stuff in there, see what it covers, and then go from there. Window treatments, curtains, blinds, shades. There's so many, again, options with these that, again, it'll just help you personalize your rental without any permanent fixtures. So no drill curtain rods, tension rods. But you can add fabrics, patterns, colors, all those kinds of things to just personalize your space, change up the decorations, change the decor, change the way the space looks just by adding treatments to the windows. Wall art without nails. So again, you're using like command hooks, and think beyond just pictures. This is wreaths. This is, I share tons of things on the podcast about thrifting, different things. Maybe it's a flat basket you hang on the wall. It's a salvaged architectural piece. It's a gallery wall you're putting together. It's not just pictures. So think about different things that you can hang on the walls. I've seen some cool displays with people hanging different things on the walls with just like washi tape, like those decorative tapes. They're not gonna pull off any, what do I want to say? Any paint. They're made so they don't pull that off. But think beyond just pictures and use command hooks and all of those things to hang that stuff up. Modular furniture. So think about this. Because it can move around with you, it can adapt to the spaces that you're in. You can rearrange it to make it fit each space you're in. It's ideal for renters who may be moving, from place to place. Just think about those pieces that can be either changed up. So let's just say like a modular sofa. So maybe it's in 3 sections, but you use 2 for a love seat and another one for a chair. But don't just think that for modular furniture. Think of multifunctional pieces. So it's a bench in your kitchen to sit down and eat, but yet the seat lifts up and there's storage inside. A small chest of drawers that you think, oh, that just goes in a bedroom. No, it doesn't. It can go in your living room. I have one. We have had one in this house, in a chest of drawers or a dresser in our living room. Since we've lived here, it's great for game storage, toy storage if you have kids, blankets, all those kinds of things. So just think about those multifunctional pieces that can be used, in 2 different ways or can be used and moved around to give you more furniture. Removable backsplashes. So again, you just want to make sure that you would get this okay, but peel and stick tiles for backsplashes. Adhesive papers, again, you can use in the kitchen or the bathroom just to give it an update and make it look just new, or but it's not going to damage the wall if you take it off, or the landlord does when you move out. And maybe that's something that you and the landlord discuss. So, I would love to hang up this peel and stick wallpaper, this peel and stick backsplash. I will be, when I move out, I will remove it all. And if there is any damage, I will, patch it up. I will pay for that. I will, maybe that's something you work out like that with your landlord or what as well. So we would have been totally fine with that. And we're still looking for investment properties and would be totally fine with that. So I think just being upfront, honest, and open, that just goes a long, long way. Okay, this next one we have in our house, and I'm going to leave a link to it in the show notes because I'm obsessed with these things. Temporary lighting solutions. This is not just for renters. This can be for homeowners as well. Battery operated light fixtures are your friend, or plug-in ones. We have plug-in ones. I was just thinking, we have plug-in ones in our bedroom. And then I have battery operated ones that I just put near our entry. It was the smallest change, the easiest change, and it's made the biggest difference in our entry. I have a full video about them because I was just like, where have these been all my life? And I did a whole blog post about them because I was everybody needs to know about these. There's no hard wiring required. You just hang them on the wall. You can get rechargeable ones. That's what ours are. And then they're run by a remote. They are a game changer. So everybody needs to check those out for sure. Okay, the next thing, this kind of goes with rugs, but you can get things like vinyl rugs, carpet tiles, laminate sheets. So don't just think area rugs. There are other options out there that you can get to cover the ugly floor or the ugly carpet or the whatever it is that you're trying to cover. There's tons of options out there that are beyond just rugs. So definitely look into those as well. Another thing, there's furniture decals. There's wraps that you can put on furniture if you're just trying to temporarily change the look. You could think cabinets as well, but that may be off limits with your landlord. But they're just things, think beyond paint, because paint is it's permanent, right? Paint is permanent, so that may be something that is totally off limits, but there's just other ways that you can just add a little something that's not going to be a permanent solution to your space. So that was 10. That went really quick. So those are just some ideas to think about. I loved this question. I love sharing DIY projects. I love sharing budget-friendly decorating ideas, and this question came in from somebody that is renting, and I thought maybe this would be helpful to somebody else. So definitely check out the show notes for some of the things that I talked about in this episode. If you found this helpful, please share this with your family and friends. We appreciate you so much when you share the podcast. We want to help as many people as we can, and so you sharing the podcast just means the world. So thank you so much for that. Until I talk to you next time, I hope you have a great day, and I will talk to you very soon. Hello, friends. Thank you so much for listening to the podcast. I'm grateful that you tune in every week and that you share the show with your family and friends. I love having creative chit chats with you, and my hope is that this podcast will inspire you to try a new project, start a DIY that you've been putting off, and decorate your home exactly how you want it. There are a few ways you can help us with the podcast. Follow the podcast so you don't miss an episode. And if you could take a few minutes to leave the podcast a review, that would help us so, so much. Again, thank you for being here, and I look forward to our chat next week. Bye-bye.